Well, hello and welcome to the Profit Express. I'm Tim Healy, and I'm inviting you to join me each and every Wednesday so you could be prepared to win the battle for business. That's right. Now, listen, I know you're out there. You're closing deals. You're making money. You're turning prospects into profits. So I got to make it worth your while. That's why I have on the kind of guest that you can listen, learn, and earn from. Today's guest is no exception. So thanks for sharing some of your time with me today. And also, listen, a big thanks to some of our biggest supporters, the folks at Corbett Public Relations, promoting and protecting businesses and brands for over 30 years. So please visit Bill Corbett and his team at CorbettPR.com. That's CorbettPR.com. So the last 2 years, I've done a number of shows on how COVID has impacted how we do business. We've talked about doing business virtually on Zoom calls. We've talked about working remotely from your basement. We've talked about supply chain disasters. And today I want to talk about something I've got a bit of a pet peeve for. And it centers around this one powerful phrase: perception is reality. So you're the business owner listening, you're the entrepreneur, you're the sales exec, you're the sales pro. You know how important how your prospects and your clients perceiving you is, because how they perceive you is their reality of you. And one of the best ways, one of the most effective ways that you can create a very positive and empowering perception is how you dress. Because I think it, I know it, I live it. If you look good, you feel good. And if you feel good, you're going to present good, you're going to close good. You're going to close great. But here's the thing. So we just talked about COVID and how it's impacted business. I am worried because I have seen and you have seen the level of dress take a bit of a nosedive because of COVID. And we've become comfortable behind the lens of Zoom. So we might be looking good from the top up and wearing shorts from the bottom down. I think we've all been guilty of that, even myself. But I think it comes at a price. And I've even seen some of my own clients kind of looking maybe a bit schlubby. And it just ain't good, because perception's reality. And we're in that business. So I think it's time to kind of recapture that perception. And I want to have back on the show my favorite fashionista, Theresa Cartisano. She's the co-owner of Christopher Allen Custom Clothiers. And not only have I enjoyed looking great in her suits and shirts and ties over many years, but she's also the one behind these great podcast host shirts, which I absolutely love. And actually, it's time for me to order some more because I'm kind of running a little bit low. So it's great to have back on the show Theresa Cartisano. How are you today?
I'm great. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing really well. And this is, I think it's appearance number 3.
Yes.
It might be more, but it's at least number 3.
Yeah.
And it's funny, you know, the whole show is, to me, perception's reality. I'm in the sales business. You're a business owner. You understand sales just as well, how important that is. And you're very much in the perception business. And I want to share another story, which kind of got me thinking about today's show, why I should have you on. My brother and his girlfriend went to Rome, Italy, a couple of weeks ago. They went for 2 weeks. They went to Rome and they went to Florence.
Exciting.
Beautiful. And it just the food, the cappuccino, the espresso, all of that was just phenomenal. But one of the things that he said when he came back, we were talking about, hey, how was your trip, right? And I was a bit surprised by it. He's like, Tim, you know what we found very interesting? People dress really well in Italy. Now you think, okay, certainly, Italy's known for fashion. Shouldn't be that much of a surprise. But he's like, even the young kids, they had collared shirts, they wore nice pants. It's like they weren't wearing the workout clothes and the sweatpants and the Crocs like we do in America. And it got me thinking, what's happened to business fashion? So that's my first question to you. So, you've been in the business, how many years have you been in the business?
It's about 27 years.
So you've seen some trends, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen a lot of trends.
Yeah.
So there's an interesting trend because of COVID. So what has COVID done to business fashion?
Well, of course, at the beginning, there wasn't even any fashion.
A lack thereof, right.
I mean, people were just, hanging out in their homes, being comfortable.
Right.
And, they were like, oh, I got to get on a Zoom call. I better throw something on that looks halfway decent.
right.
But they still really weren't stepping up to the plate.
Yeah, yeah.
And then people started realizing, okay, this is like my new office now. So I have to still present myself well.
Right.
And people started dressing well from the waist up, at least wearing a buttoned shirt and wearing something that was neat and clean and pressed. So when we were in that time and people were just at home,
Right.
they were, at least elevating themselves to that level.
From the waist up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm guilty of wearing shorts on Zoom calls. I
think
have
most people are.
Yeah. I wore plenty of your shirts, but maybe some shorts for, from the table down. So COVID first hits, we don't know what's going on. Then we realize that Zoom is the new office. So what can people, let's just talk about colors. Let's talk about, is it even appropriate to wear a tie on a Zoom?
Hey, listen, you have to be comfortable in what you're wearing.
Right.
If you're comfortable and you feel your best in a tie, then wear a tie. There are no hard and fast rules except you need to be comfortable, because when you're comfortable, you feel your best and you do your best. So, okay, you do have to take into consideration what everybody else is going to wear.
Right, the audience, right? Okay.
The audience. So, yeah, but it certainly is appropriate in a business setting to wear a tie.
Sure.
Especially if you want to elevate yourself to being the most successful person on that Zoom call.
Right.
Do you want to be the least dressed guy or you want to be the best dressed guy?
Well, all right. You've already said a couple of things I want to make sure the listeners are getting. So you said, how you feeling comfortable being your best. Okay. So one thing, I've learned a lot of things from you over the years with fashion, and I'll even talk about some of the things I fought you on. We'll talk about that in a moment. But one thing I got from you was how you're feeling. And perception's reality. I train sales guys all day long, and how you feel is going to, and I'm a firm believer in this, how you feel will absolutely have an impact on the presentation. You get, even if it's a one-on-one, if you're presenting to many, and it's the confidence, and confidence is going to, go right into closing and
Absolutely,
and how you perform. So we know society, even before COVID, was becoming more casual, right? I mean, that was safe to say.
Yeah.
And then off the rails when COVID hit. Now, is it, because I like, it's like, what can you do different in business to win the battle for business? Is it a bad thing? Like, say you're a sales pro, and your prospects or clients are typically like, hey, I'm without a tie, I'm hosting a podcast, maybe a little different. But if they're wearing maybe just a button-down shirt, no tie, or maybe a golf shirt, is it a bad thing to wear the tie? Are you, one-upping them, or is it a positive?
Well, my clients tell me that they feel more comfortable wearing what their clients are wearing. Certainly, if you're visiting with clients and you want to feel like, or you want them to feel like you're a part of them, you do want to look like them to a certain degree. As long as you're neat and your clothing is in good shape and they fit well and you make a good presentation, that's what's important. But yes, my clients do tell me they don't want to be so different than the people that they're actually having the meeting with.
So they want to kind of mirror,
yes,
what their clients are, and that makes sense. Okay, so now here's something. So if it's the golf shirt, which I'm not a fan of, but and I have worn them on Zooms, is throwing like a classic blue blazer on it. To me, I think that could be a smart way to
elevate it.
Elevate it, but you're still wearing it. What is that right? Wrong? What do you think?
There's no. The thing with fashion is there's really no right or wrong. I can't sit here and tell you, no, that's not the right thing to do. This is the right thing to do, because it's an expression of yourself. So,
right.
Like I said, we're going to go back to what we were talking about. If that blazer makes you feel good, then by all means. And I believe that it also makes you look better,
Absolutely. Oh,
Definitely. You could put a blue blazer on or a sport coat, a patterned sport coat
Right.
on with a golf shirt. You don't really look like you're wearing a golf shirt anymore.
totally different look.
Yeah. It changes the look.
I remember one of the things you said. Wait, and because listen, I've been a client of yours. I don't know how many years now. One of the things that you said, hey Tim, it's kind of a shame that guys have gotten away from suits because to a certain extent we have. He's like, and then you said it, and I never forgot it. Not every man is athletic and they work out and they're in great shape. We know there's a lot of odd shapes out there with guys and guts and this and that.
And girls.
Okay. In both ways, right? Yeah. But you said it, and it always stuck with me. The suit gives the guy a better looking figure. And it kind of builds you up.
Yeah.
It kind of hides some of the blemishes and the warts, right?
I'll never forget back in like the late 90s during the dot-com bubble. One of my clients, all of a sudden, we went from, I was seeing my customers, they were wearing suits 5 days a week.
Yo, yeah.
And all of a sudden, like that plug was pulled. They were coming to work in the chinos that they've had in their closet forever and that golf shirt that, stuck in their drawer. And one of my clients who believes in dressing well for the part said, I said to these guys, you got what you wanted. And now everybody sees you for the schlubs you really are.
I love the schlub. To me is the perfect word.
Yeah.
Schlub. Maybe it's a New York kind of word. I don't know how it translates around the rest of the country, but it's kind of like that. Like you don't care.
Yeah. And now you just look like, that guy. Oh, there's that guy.
Right.
Whereas you put a suit on or a sport coat or even just some really nice casual clothing, people are looking at you differently.
Listen. I couldn't agree more. And I'm going to say this not just to make you feel good, but there have been a couple of shows that I haven't worn one of your shirts. They were the dry cleaners, right? And
you need more.
I need more. Yes, you're absolutely right. And I wore like an Under Armour golf shirt, and my hand to God, I swear, I'm sitting on the show and I'm looking at myself in the camera. Right. And I don't feel the same.
Yeah.
I literally don't feel the same. And it's entering my mind as I'm doing the show that, it's
not quite right.
Not the same.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
And so that goes back again, feel good, look good, perform good. One thing that I learned, again, I learned a number of great things regarding fashion. And I used to buy clothes because of how they look. And I think it makes sense, obviously, to like the way something looks.
You have to like the way it looks.
Right. But I gained a new appreciation for fit, okay? And obviously custom clothes, you're getting the clothes to fit spot on.
Right.
Okay. So so this is where you and I, you didn't give up. You were persistent and you won me over. When we first started doing business, I was getting the suits and ties from you. And you're like, Tim, you got to get some shirts. I don't need a shirt. It's the suit that really matters. I don't. So I would get my shirts at wherever, off the rack at a store somewhere. And for a couple of years.
Oh yeah, you fought me on that.
You're like, please, just try one. Just try. I'm like, all right, Theresa, I trust you with everything. I'll trust you. So we tried one. And I'm telling you, and listen, I can't count how many custom shirts I have now. For the show, for business, right?
Right.
It is such a difference.
No, tell me why. What's the difference?
Okay, so now we're flipping. You're interviewing me. Yeah. All right, so two things. Because of, I guess, my size, my height, whatever, when I get the shirt off the rack, they were very baggy. Very, very baggy. I hated it. You'd have to stuff the extra material in the back. I never liked it. And my sleeves might have been too long. But when I'm wearing one of your shirts, even just right now, I'm looking right into the camera, how it falls on the shoulders. To me, that's, the sleeves, perfect. Everything perfect.
Yeah, yeah. That's what you get with custom clothing. You get the fit, not only that's right for you, but that you want.
Right.
Because everybody's different. Everybody wants something different. So with custom clothing, you can get what you really want.
Oh, and I know I'm a pain in the ass. I mean,
I wasn't going to say it, but
no, I know. You have great patience. So we talked about, obviously COVID derailed everybody. They're trying to figure it out. Let's go and let's talk about now, because this is the Profit Express. You're in business partnership with your husband, Chris.
Yeah.
Okay. You're co-owners. I know on
Yes.
one of the shows I say you're the owner. I didn't say co-owner. I did not. When it's all Chris, we're fans of Chris. Hello, Chris. How have you guys? Because like every industry, it changes, evolves. Okay, and COVID has forced a number of industries to change and evolve. Yours is one of them. So how have you guys pivoted, doing business differently, offering different fashions? How has it impacted you?
I think the biggest reason people do like to wear, like you were talking about before, sweatpants and T-shirts, is because it's comfortable. It doesn't really look that good, but it's comfortable. And everybody wants to be comfortable.
Right.
So what we've done is we've elevated comfortable clothing. We now offer, and the biggest thing in fashion right now is are these stretchy fabrics. And everybody loves them because they're really comfortable. They move with you.
Right.
So we have a large array now of stretchy fabrics for pants, for shirts, for jackets, jeans. We now offer jeans, which we didn't before.
You guys, I didn't. Maybe I knew that. So you guys offer jeans now.
We have a full line of jeans now.
Really?
Yeah. And what people love about the jeans, going back to what you talked about before, everybody likes their jeans to fit differently. I have some customers, I make them really, really skinny. They almost want them to get stuck on their calf, I know you don't understand that.
Yeah. Is that
and
my
then
thing?
other people, they want them a little fuller, but they don't want them to look baggy. And sometimes that's hard to find in the right size for you.
Right.
So I'm able to style them the way they like them. And so jeans. You hear jeans, you're not thinking dressed for business.
Right.
But if they fit right and they're made with the right fabric in the right business situation, they could be the right thing to wear.
They almost don't look like jeans. I mean, they're, what I'm saying, like a traditional denim, they have a different look to them, don't they?
They're not your Levi's that are kind of worn out,
right.
worn out.
Right.
I did recently see somebody do some photos for business, and I thought he kind of went down the wrong avenue. He wanted to be casual, and which I get because he wanted to relate to his customer he felt like he should be more casual. But he wore jeans that I didn't think really elevated him to the business person that he is. So they need to look a certain way.
Right.
Not like you said, not the jeans that you're wearing on the weekends to run your errands.
Right.
It's something different than that.
Like the dad jeans. We don't want
No,
the dad
No dad jeans.
with the white New Balance sneakers, just give up, right? Just go into the basement and shut the light out. So it's funny, we've talked about in the show in the past, what do you need, what are the key elements in a great business wardrobe? We've talked about the different suits, the different colors, right? A gray, a black, a blue, pinstripe, et cetera. But it's just dawning on me as we're talking that I've always felt confident in the suit and tie. Obviously I get them from you and I can, put it together and I always feel great about it. But one thing that I'm not, and so if I'm not, I got to imagine there's a lot of guys out there who probably aren't also confident in what is then the business casual kind of wardrobe out there. So then what would be some of the essentials that you should have to kind of make up a good, business casual?
I think one of the most important pieces is a jacket.
Okay.
Because you could put a jacket on with various types of pants, and that elevates you.
Right.
That elevates your outfit.
Right.
So what we've done is now we offer. A lot of times people think of a jacket as being uncomfortable, and like I said before, everybody wants to be comfortable.
Right.
And of course, comfort. When you're comfortable, you do your best, right? So what we offer now is a lot more casual type of jackets. Again, made of very stretchy fabrics. not a lot of structure in them, a lot more relaxed type of jackets. And even though it's a casual jacket, it elevates your outfit. It finishes it. It finishes it off. So I think the most important thing to have in a business casual wardrobe is a jacket that works well with many different looks.
So
I think that's a key element.
So a jacket you could easily wear with slacks, pants, and then even jeans.
Yes.
Like some of those nice jeans you're talking
Yes,
about.
and you know what? Most jackets work that way. When I see customers, they say, "Well, will this work well with jeans?" Because we'll pick out some nice pants to go with them. Yeah, but can I wear it with jeans? Almost everything goes with jeans. You could wear. Not everybody could pull it off,
Right.
But some people can pull off a tux jacket with jeans.
Oh, good. Yeah.
You take a look out there, celebrities and stuff. Some of
Sure.
them probably do that.
It could be a fun look, yeah.
But you could wear, a very fancy, I'm going to use the word fancy,
Right.
sport coat with a pair of jeans. And then you could wear something that's a little bit more casual with jeans. So having that jacket in there that works with many different types of pants and shirts, I think is the most important thing.
So you got to have that sport coat. Now, is there a different sport coat and blazer? Or are they the same thing?
Yeah, a blazer is solid, and a sport coat has a pattern.
That's the difference.
That's the difference.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'm just throwing out terms. I'm not even sure. Okay. Yeah. So you got to have that sport coat, if you will. And are these stretchy fabrics that are certainly comfortable, they're acceptable in business?
Yeah.
Okay. So you got to incorporate some of them, and you're okay then whether it's a custom shirt, which I love because of the fit we just talked about, okay, which you sold me on after you
I wore you down.
You wore it for
Tim.
years.
I wore you down
for years. I'm glad you did. I know. All kidding aside, I'm glad you did.
What I want to do, the most important thing for me is to help people.
Right.
And I knew I could help you with custom shirts. I could see you. You're just so you like things to fit and look a certain way, and you want to be comfortable. You are not comfortable taking that extra fabric and tucking it in your pants in the back. That's not comfortable.
No, because you know what? When I was out networking, or you're at a client event, or you go to the men's room, you'd always. I'm not going to get too grab. You put your hand in the zip, right, in the pen. You're pulling down the tails, right. I did that all the time.
Yeah.
Now I don't have to. Yeah. It just fits right. So, God, there's so many angles we could go to, but let me think. Let me approach it this way. You have the casual wardrobe. It's about feeling comfortable. And you said something that was interesting, but I don't know if I agree or disagree. You said did I get it right? There's no real right or wrong in fashion. But aren't there like do's and don'ts though?
Well, my biggest do is...
Because didn't you just say earlier that, hey, it's what's comfortable for you? So I know what you're saying, but then as you said, it was interesting. There's got to be some don'ts out there.
Well, absolutely. You don't want to look sloppy.
Right.
Okay? Your clothing needs
But
to
what
be...
what does sloppy mean though? Because you talk about sloppy. So okay, you see a guy, you're in the mall, you're wherever, it's a client. What would somebody be wearing for you to say, "Man, this guy looks bad. He's sloppy"?
Biggest thing is when clothing is too baggy. That's sloppy looking.
Okay.
Your pants are too long and they're draping.
Yeah.
That's sloppy.
Right.
Your pants are like falling off of you, like there's just way too much fabric.
Right.
That's sloppy. Also too tight.
Okay.
That looks sloppy too.
Right.
Not pressed.
Okay. Yeah.
Not pressed. That's sloppy. Worn out.
Yeah, you see the guys who have the chinos or the khakis and the back of the leg and the bottom because they don't fit well is frayed, right? You've seen that look.
Yeah, well, it's just from wearing, khakis are made from, most of them from cotton. Some of them are a blend. That fabric gets worn out quickly. If you're wearing it all the time, the most important thing to do is to have enough clothing in your closet to rotate, That's the
Okay.
way your clothing is going to last the longest. Because if you're wearing the same 2 khakis day in and day out, they're not going to last a long time. And
Wait, so all right, so talk about numbers. How many pants? How many shirts? How many?
well, really, you shouldn't wear if you would like your clothing to look its best and to wear well. Don't wear the same pants twice in 1 week.
Okay. So at least 5 then.
At least 5.
At least
yeah.
5. So you can rotate.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about the guys? Listen, this is a call out to all those guys out there. Teresa's here to help. What about those guys who still think they're a 34 waist and they're not a 34 waist? And what the
Well,
heck?
let me tell you what happens whenever I meet with a client and I measure them. They all want to know, would you get for the waist? Would you get for the waist? And I hate when they ask that because I know the number I got is bigger than the pants that they're buying.
They think they're the right.
Well, it's not what they think. It's vanity sizing. These companies, these manufacturers that make the clothing, they take a 36 and they make it a 34. They mark it as a 34.
So they're just playing with our heads.
Yeah, all of these. I know when I buy clothing, it depends on what store I go in. Some stores I'm one size, and some stores I'm another because these stores know how to market to you.
Just make
and
you
your
feel
mindset.
good.
Yeah.
Right.
And I know if I have to sometimes if I have to go up a size in something, I'm like, I'm not buying it. I don't care if that size fits me.
So
I'm not
even
buying
Theresa Cartisano. Oh, so when the fashionista goes into the store, and if it's a different number. So ego's involved here.
Oh, yeah. We all have an ego, right?
Wait, so hold on a second. So you go into a store, you find a pair of pants, a blouse, you're like, oh, this is beautiful. And it's a bigger size than you're thinking, but it's the right size for you. You're not going to buy it?
Well, it depends. It depends on what that number is. I can't go to a certain point. I have my limit there. I have a range, you know.
You notice she's not sharing the number on the Profit Express here.
Notice I'm just saying number. Yes.
Number and range.
Yes.
Well, listen, I can appreciate it. It's ego. I did the same thing because when you're doing your measurement and you do a whole ton of measurements for the pants, the shirts, all that, you're giving the true measurement of what the waist is.
Right.
And I think for most guys, it's going to be, wait, what? No.
I just measured somebody the other day, and he said, no, you need to change that. You need to change that. That's not my waist. I said, okay, I'll change it.
And you don't change it.
No, if I change it, the pants are going to come in. They're not going to fit, you know?
Right. So there's a little bit of, white lying here.
Oh,
we have
yeah,
the little
you
fit.
gotta, yeah.
Right.
They don't need to know what goes on behind the scenes.
Wait, are those European numbers you have, Teresa? That's centimeters. It's not inches.
Yeah.
That number is not right. Come on. So, something is not right here.
Yeah.
So listen, to me, listen, this is the third time I've had you on. You and I have worked together for years. I'm a big believer in it. And I always like to have a show like this because, again, we're talking about winning the battle for business. I want people to think, what can you do differently? There's so many different things that we have to consider when we're out there, when we're selling, when we're presenting. And I'm telling you, I think fashion is something that people should consider more. They should invest more, look good, feel good. And you know what? I think within reason, I know you said your clients like to mirror their clients. It's okay to up the game. Because one thing I'll say, okay, people see the shirt on the Profit Express. There's even, and you can go on iTunes, one of the reviews for the show, and I'm paraphrasing it, but it's on iTunes, said, and he wears real cool shirts. And even my brother-in-law saw a show on YouTube. I did an interview with John Taffer not too long ago, and he was watching the show, and he's like, hey, Tim, where'd you get that shirt?
And did you tell him?
Well, he lives in Georgia, but of course I did tell him. I did tell him. He could use your help, I can tell you. Oh, he's wearing the same shirts for 10 years now. Oh, my brother-in-law. All right, so this is what I want to do. You and I have spoken, I'm hard to get a hold of, so we're going to have a little fun on the show today.
Okay.
So I am, and Theresa will attest to this. I could be a pain in the ass client. I'll say it. She won't. Maybe no, maybe you will say it. I don't know. But I can be a pain in the neck, and I can be finicky and all this. But by the way, you've dealt with me. You still take my call, so I'm very happy with that. Your service is fantastic. So here's what we're gonna do, because I did need some more shirts for the show.
Mm-hmm.
You had sent me some fabrics. We kind of went back and forth. And so just before the show, we're talking, and Teresa's like, Tim, let me just pick them out. Right?
You make it too difficult for yourself.
Right?
I'm here to make it easy for you and easy for my clients. I want to make things easy.
Well, because now we're talking about service. So let's go to a fashion for just a moment.
Okay.
All right. So one thing that I do want to talk about, which is service in any business, and how critical that is. And one thing that I'll never forget, a story with Theresa. This goes back a number of years. This is probably like 2014 or so. And I had a client, and the client's color was orange, and we were doing this big presentation. And the night before, I didn't have an orange tie, and I was doing a presentation with the client to one of their clients. And I called Theresa the night before. I said, do you have an orange tie, in your inventory? So she checks, she gets back to me. She's like, I have a couple, yes. And I said, Theresa, is there any way you can get it to me? It was on Long Island. And that morning, you hand-delivered an orange tie for me. That's service.
Yeah, that's what I do.
But that was probably, like I'm saying, it's like 7 years ago, something like that.
Yeah. And you always remember that,
right, yeah. I mean, because normally your service is great. You're there, you're attentive, right? But when you do something like that, I know Chris does that. Chris talks a lot about that with his clients. And that's something not to lose, because, we're talking about COVID. And how that's changed business. And I think it's made business in a lot of ways less personal. But I think that's one way that you guys really stick out.
Yeah, it's all about the relationships we build with our clients. You go into a store and is the person there really interested in you?
Yeah. 10 years ago, I think retail help was better.
Oh, it's really gone downhill.
You can't even find a person sometimes.
I know.
For help, and I'm talking even nice stores.
I know.
I'm not talking like
you have to look around for somebody to take your money.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right.
For what you want to buy.
That's a good point. Okay, so let me get back to the offer. Okay. So you say, Tim, let me help you. So, and just as we're doing the show, I never would have agreed to it. You never could have got me to say yes to that. But I'm giving. This
man.
is big. This is
big. Mark this date down.
So you can pick. I mean, you know what I'm looking for. Okay, you know the shirts that we already have for the show. I want show shirts for the Profit Express. Pick them, and then we'll do a reveal.
Okay.
So don't show me nothing.
Okay, we're going to do a reveal.
We could do a reveal.
Okay.
All right. How's that?
That sounds great.
Are you up for the challenge?
I'm excited. I love designing things. I love, being able to do what I like and try to change somebody's ideas or just expand their horizons.
But you did that for me. Like I fought you on the custom shirt thing forever. I don't need it. I was 100% wrong.
Yeah.
So I never would have thought I would have given you, let's say, carte blanche. You have it today.
All right.
You up for the challenge?
I'm up.
The timing for the show is perfect. We needed to talk about fashion. We needed to talk about image. But again, it's more than, you're in the clothing business, but I've always looked at you differently. It's really, the image business. It's the how you feel business, which relates directly to what I talk about is performance. It's confidence, which is key because again, a lot of the clients that I have, you have, it's business owners, it's executives, it's sales professionals. So we're working with a lot of the same audience, and I'm a huge proponent, obviously, and I think it's perfect time to get guys thinking about it. I know you do a great job, but hey, let's really sound the bells out there. People can follow you. How? Get in touch with you? What are the different ways?
Well, you could always go to my website, ChristopherAllenClothiers.com, and numerous ways to contact us on there.
Sure.
I am on Facebook as Christopher Allen, Instagram as Christopher Allen.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Easy ways to get to you. Okay. As always, a pleasure. My favorite fashionista, if you will, right here on the Profit Express. Thanks for being on board today.
Oh, thanks for having me. It was fun.
It was a blast. And for you, thank you again for sharing some of your time and listening. And be on the lookout every Wednesday as we drop great episodes like the one I just did with Theresa Cartisano of Christopher Allen Custom Clothiers. And you can follow me in the show on Instagram at The Profit Express, on Twitter at Profit_Express, on YouTube and Facebook at The Profit Express channel. Follow us, give us a likes and a thumbs up. And until next time, do that something special. Do that something extra that you don't normally do. Look at your wardrobe, spice it up. Look confident, look your best, feel your best to make sure you're winning the battle for business. Until next time.